All right, we are live. The Coin Vault crew back at it. What's going on, guys? Future in the house, Rue Black, and of course, Maximus Crypto. How's your Thursday going, guys? How's your week going? What's happening with Zebec today? My goodness.
Glorious. Absolutely glorious. Global payroll partner. I'm having a great day. I'm loving my Zebec bags right now. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great. Well, I was gonna make a disclaimer is these guys are obviously gonna cover a lot about Zebec, big news obviously with Steller in the mix, but I'm also gonna provide you guys a lot of new updates on everything. I mean, we have so many things to get into in regard to clarity, right, across the board. So we have a lot of brand new updates that just came like a few hours ago. I think even one came in about an hour ago before the show. This whole show, for the most part, other than the big bombshells of Zebec, there's some big news in regard to XRP, Quant. We're gonna freaking confirm Project Agora and all of the major products. You didn't hear it from me or projects. You're gonna hear it from them, and we also have even some
Cool.
Metallicas to get into. So we're jam packed and
You
fanny
talking
packed, as you would say.
Jack Stacked and Fanny Pack? You talking
There you go.
Gora on Algorand?
No, Project Agora. It's
Oh,
a
Agora. Okay.
central bank projects, many projects. I used to get a lot of me and Channing used to get a lot of criticism back in the day of oh, this has nothing to do with that and so on. People are literally going to be eating their words here soon.
Here
Yeah.
we go.
Get the ketchup out. Get the
Get him.
barbecue sauce.
Get him.
Exit Flip says Rob also called the top on Zebec and advised everybody to take profits, but many people ignored him and said he was crazy in the chat. But everyone in the Patreon made out like bandits. Amen to that. Yep. I remember people got mad at me, even in the Patreon. They were like, "What are you talking about? It's going to a penny." Thank you, Exit Flip. Absolutely, man. Brock says, "You rock, Max. Let's get the Alf in. Sorry, a big guy always appreciates you. There you go, man. ALF.
Alf, if he, yeah, I don't know about Alf. I don't know if that's a reference to my ex-partner, but that's what they used to call him. Anyway,
Like the Alien show?
From
yeah,
the
I
80s.
I really don't want to draw too much attention to my ex-partner, but yeah, a lot of people were calling him that. So anyway,
That's hilarious,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, there's, yeah.
What do we got? About to stake more Zebec now. Nice. There you go. Max is the hardest deep diver in digital assets. Yes, you're absolutely right. Utility Maximus.
Hey,
You
Utility Maximus, it's been a while since I seen you in the comments, man. So glad to have you here. It really means a lot. Thank you for that. I don't consider myself the hardest deep diver. I think I'm one of them, but
Pause.
thank you for.
good to see you, Rue.
What
Ready,
is
brother.
that? Is that
Max
Racer
hung up on
X
us.
though?
I think it
Where'd
is.
he go? Where'd he go?
He hung up. He hung up on us.
He was like, he's done.
Dave's in the house. Where's the moon? Max and Rob, and don't forget Rue rides above in the house. Alpha. He meant to
What's
say
up?
Alpha. Max, not Alpha.
Oh, okay, okay. I was like, man, this guy must have really watched me back in the day, on the original channel. Anyway,
Stellar this month. Ripple next month. DTCC end of 2026. Let's go. Elon Muff in the house. Max,
hey, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Max
will stop saying his. Huh?
you're lagging a lot.
I don't know why.
Yeah. Just thought I'd let you know.
I mean, I can
Um,
restart my computer, I guess. I don't know what's going on.
Mobile Super App and XRP Vegas fuel Zebec to the next galaxy. There you go. There you go. Racer XRP.
Oh, it's Racer XRP. I see what you did there. I like that.
Well played, sir. Well played. The triple threat. Let's go. Yes, I would say, guys, if you're watching over on Crypto Future, make sure you hit the subscribe because we only need 2 more subs to get to 16,000. So let's push it up over 16,000, guys. We need 2 subs. Push it up. Let's go. Hit the sub button. Hurry up and buy. Wait, Zebec gonna rob a Be right back. Uncertain world. Glad we got you guys. Hey, absolutely. Thank you so much. DTCC, DTTC, that tight crypto. Brock says, Max, are you playing World of Warcraft on the side where we're watching your stream? Getting lag because he's raiding Onyxia's lair.
All right, I'll restart. I'll be right back. I don't know what's going on.
You guys think a partnership with XRP is coming? Me personally, yes, I do think so. I think not with XRP, with Ripple. I know I know that I'm picking out the fly shit through the pepper, but I'm just saying, right? It's Ripple, not XRP. But yes, I think that we're going to see an announcement at XRPL of a partnership or collaboration of some sort with Ripple. What do you think?
No, that's spot on. I exactly. I think we see an announcement there. They might even tease us, give us something, like they did before, where it's like big announcement coming at the XRP, Las Vegas thing. So very, very awesome to see here. And wow.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. I think it's gonna be big. That's what she said. You are. So
no, I'm uptight about saying pause. I'm not gonna say pause anymore.
You can say it. Max isn't here, so. Grok said Zebec getting to $5.87. Damn.
Yeah, I saw that. Grok. Shout out to Ghost.
Nice. I think it's coming too. Simon did say we're going to be focusing on 26 collaboration with Ripple. Yes. I almost fell out of my chair. Booming. Nice. Bearded. Yes. We actually were talking about this off camera. And to sum up, I would say that to say that Canton is not decentralized, the argument would have to be that Canton is as decentralized as Bitcoin is. So
well said. Yes.
Max is back, my dude. Shook in the house, dropping a super sticker. Shook, we appreciate you, brother. Like we said, man, got to get you back on Blockchain Buzz. Look for a DM from me coming probably tonight or tomorrow, brother. Let's get it hooked up.
Good to see you, Shook.
You guys are my World of Warcraft. Nice.
That's cool. Thank you.
Moonfeather in the house as well.
What up, Mooney?
Mooney, what's happening? Good to see you. We love Mooney. Guys, make sure you go sub to both Shook and Mooney, because if you don't, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
Right? Alpha will eat you.
Yes,
the 80s. The 80s extraterrestrial will come back and eat you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna see quickly if we have any questions in the chat. I'm not seeing any. Anybody you guys want to give a quick shout out to before we get started?
Yeah. Go
ahead. Shout out to Shook and Moonfeather. Shout out to Hitter All Day. Shout out to Phantom Beat. Shout out to Broad Trip. Shout out to Corey Williams 96. Shout out to Mr. Baby Ears. What's up, E? Moderator in our Telegram. Shout out to you, E. Let's see here. Did I miss some people? Shout out to Hitter All Day. Shout out to Rise Above. Shout out to Elon Muff. And if I miss someone, we'll definitely get to you later in the show. Apologies. Oh, shout out to ZBCN or Zebec Heavy Hitter. Appreciate you, brother. Shout out to Zebec Nation. Okay. Definitely go like and subscribe to those guys.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. So who wants to get started? I guess we didn't really discuss that off. Did you want to get into the Zebec stuff and Steller first, Rue, or Max, did you want to take the floor and drop that alpha, man? Give everybody so many lefts will be begging for a right. What do you think?
Well, I'll make it quick, but I didn't have a chance to give a quick shout out. So obviously shout out to Elon Musk. Thank you so much for people who are connecting, obviously, from Maximus Crypto. Francisco Dennis Lil, thank you so much. Again, Utility Maximus, real honored to see you here. Always seeing you in the comments. A lot of you guys, I appreciate you guys being here. So, when will this happen in regard to that announcement? I don't know where you're going with that. Maybe I have to double check that. But anyway, yeah, thanks for being here. So, back to what you're asking, Rob. Sorry, I had to do that refresh, so I'm kind of hopefully I'm not lagging anymore.
I was just saying. So who wants to get started? Do you guys want to dive into the Zebec Steller stuff with Rue or Max? Do you want to start? Do you want to start off with all of the alpha? You got quite a bit to go through. I know quite a few.
I do have quite a bit to go through, but I mean, if anything, if you guys are chiming at the bit to get some stuff going on with Zebec and Steller and all that, by all means do that. But yeah, we'll definitely get into some of these big announcements. So it's not a competition of who goes first. I just think that we just need to execute it and get it out there because there's a lot. So
it's a competition. 100%.
I always think that's crazy. Like I remember earlier today I posted something, and then it got labeled as spam, but it was somebody from like some other Zebec coverage or smaller channel. Nothing against, there's nothing wrong with smaller channel, but the guy was like, "We covered this a week ago," and I was like, "Didn't know that it's important to get the news out." Like, what is this, breaking local news or something like that? It's just anyway.
Yeah, like okay, because you covered it, I can't. Like what?
Oh yeah, it's some of that stuff is ridiculous. So
yeah, that is ridiculous. But yeah, I think go ahead. You should start.
All right. Well,
there's a shout out here, a super chat for one of you guys.
What's up, D Curry? I don't know if it's on my channel or yours, but hey, good people, ZBCN gotta be much higher, like to the moon high.
We appreciate the super chat. Just to see where that came from. There's a $10 super chat, and it was from Crypto Future from Shook Focus. So thank you for that. Yeah, and then the one actually that was your super chat, Rue. So thank you for that, D Curry.
Too much damn talk. Appreciate it. We keep getting that because one time I was live like a year and a half ago, and someone was like, some hater was like, "Why are you talking so much?" It's like, am I supposed to just sit here and look at the camera?
I think it's crazy when people like on the replay, they'll say, "Oh, this is ridiculous." Like, why is this show an hour long? It's a live show. You do not know the difference between a live show with the community and a recorded video, but some people don't. So it is what it is. Mm-hmm. Anyway, yeah.
Absolutely. What up, Roo Crew? All right, so why don't we dive into I think the Steller Zebec stuff probably won't take as much time. So let's dive into that, and then we'll segue. Max, when you hear a good segue into your stuff, fire away, brother.
Yeah, no problem. So go for it, you guys. Take it away.
What are your thoughts, Rue? What are your thoughts on the announcement? What are the implications for Zebec and Steller? Here's the thing. A lot of people are bullish this morning on on Zebec, but I'm sitting here going, I also need a lot more Steller in my bags right now.
No, I agree with you there. If you look at the way they worded it, if you could bring that up at some point here, like I like that they said that they're the global payroll partner of their payroll infrastructure. So they're saying in the announcement that's the infrastructure.
You can pull that up.
Right? Thank you, Max. And to me, if their infrastructure play, I think that opens the door to agentic AI. And I know there was a.
You were just talking about that when we were filming for CoinVault last night. That was all you, man.
See what I'm saying? Thank you, brother. I appreciate the acknowledgement. So, like, I really think it opens the door for agentic AI for Zebec and them being like the facilitator to that. And this is everything we've said about Zebec being attached to the interledger, right? And we know, like, from different documents from Smoke, different things I mentioned, Max has mentioned, you've mentioned that Zebec has a connection to the interledger, and we know that Steller has a connection to the interledger. So this is all of that coming together. And if Steller and Ripple are what we think they are, globally, then to me that makes Zebec the global payroll leader, the global payroll provider.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely, I agree, man. This is so much bigger than people anticipate for both projects, really, for both, right? And for me to see a project like Zebec, for example, uh, building at this rate in a bear market tells me that we are in, strap on, because we are in for one hell of a bull run for Zebec if this is how much they're working in a bear market. It's hard to find projects that build in a bear market. You see a lot of other projects, you're seeing layoffs left and right. Crypto.com announced today they were laying off. I know it's an exchange, but it's just an example of how the belt kind of tightens a little bit when you're in a bear market. But Zebec is just continuing to build nonstop, man. They no F's given.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Rob, because I was thinking about that. If they're announcing this announcement now, think of how much we have coming in the future at the XRP Las Vegas convention. Like, if they're announcing this now, this should be one of the greatest type of crypto years, possibly, not financial advice, that we have coming if they're announcing this right now.
Yeah, yeah, it's so much bigger than people think. I'm excited about it. It makes me wonder, what if this is what they announce now? What announcements are they saving for XRP Las Vegas? Are you kidding me? Like, if this is, I'm guessing, I'm hoping that this is just a bit of an appetizer for the main event. I'm really looking forward to it. Um, Personally, WF Capital, what's going on, man? Personally, yeah, I can't wait to get to the event itself. I'll be there, and I'm going to be making a crap ton of content to bring back, right? So I'm even going to have on my what do you call them?
Jersey?
My meta glasses, so that
Oh,
I can get brief conversations with as many people as possible.
yeah, that's better.
And yeah, like I know John Deaton's going to be down there, Eleanor Tourette, all of the notable names and stuff like that. I'm going to see if I can just get 2 minutes of Simon's time, right? One or two questions, bam, bam, let's go, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I'll move on, right? So yeah, it's going to be a good time. When is the bull run coming back? Probably, I'm going to guess we'll start working our way back up in 2027. It's kind of what I think. Loan protocol, yes. We just covered Metallicus. Metallicus, what was it, yesterday? Was it yesterday we released a video on
Yep.
CoinVault for Metallicus? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Loan, Metallic, the whole ecosystem, man. XPR, baby. Swift coin holder. There you go. I dig it.
Good to see you.
All right. Well, it seems like we've talked about Zebec and Steller. Max, what do you got ready to go for us here today?
Just one more thing before we exit that. I'm sorry. Check out.
Apology.
I just did a little mini live stream, guys. Like, we kind of already knew, like, the tea leaves on this was like already out. Where, like, I know a lot of people like wait for the official announcement. But one thing, shout out to my triple threat member there, Maximus. Like, he broke some news for Jasmine with Panasonic like years before, or at least like a year before they actually officially announced it. Like, that's why you watch channels like ours, because you can, if you follow the tea leaves, you already know that this is what's going to happen. So in that mini live, I kind of show you guys we could have known this in 2024.
Yeah. Exit flip, I would say you can simply ask Grok over on X to give you a link to where you can buy tickets to any event, and it will give you a link. So that's what I would recommend, because I don't have the link on me right now. Tickets are, I found it funny, we talked about it last night. Tickets are $589. That is amazing. 589.
Right? That is amazing.
Exciting news, guys. I'm just making sure everybody's comments get put on the screen, guys. So, Max, what do you got for us, brother?
All right. Well, we got a lot that we're going to get into. I mean, really, a lot of new updates. So I actually want to start off with smoke. I want to pull this up on your guys' screen at some point. Okay, I was going to say because it's nice to highlight comments, but if it covers up what's literally being presented, kind of it's counterintuitive. No offense, but anyway,
You don't have
um,
to. You don't have to scream at me.
yeah. So basically, Smoke has this, and it's really valid. It's recent. He says Matt Hugin, the Clarity Act equals bull market catalyst. And I love this quote. The United States possibly passing the Clarity Act would be a bull market catalyst because it would establish a persistent regulatory floor in the U.S. for the long term. I mean, these statements, right? A lot of people point out, well, it's all about the 4-year cycles and so on. Guess what? Rob, I respect you. I love you, brother. But guess what? It's all about that 4-year cycle until it isn't, right? So, I mean, in reality, right? Because we've never had a utility run. Let's just be honest about it. We never had that. So it says when you have that kind of regulatory clarity, institutions can start building with confidence instead of constantly worrying about the rules changing. And of course, he has that. Now, where he has the follow up, this should be one of your main takeaways, everybody. This is good. It says why the crypto markets still need the Clarity Act. All right. Some people are like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. And it's a big deal. It's absolutely a big deal. Okay. So this gives institutions more confidence to engage and reduce immediate regulatory risk. It says basically answers what these assets are not. However, it does not fully define how the entire system operates, integrates, and scales within traditional finance. That's where Clarity Act comes in. This area I want to get down into is basically the new bank capabilities. We'll share some key things about this here in a bit. But like it says, trading and settlement, custody services. I mean, how many times have we shared Quant Network and how literally when we talk about Fireblocks, right? Fireblocks custody. We talk about Zebec, Anchorage Digital, again, custody. Quant Network literally holds the master key to like Fireblocks, as Rude and I have both pointed out. But watch this. We go down here. The Clarity Act is key to unlock full-scale institutional adoption. So, again, this is a great catalyst, and I would not deny that. I agree that it is with smoke. But we're not even close to full institutional adoption. How about this? We're not even close to full retail adoption, right?
Amen.
So excuse me, this is all documented below. So he points out, and here's the citation if you want to look into it for yourself, guys, bnncpa.com. I should say boy that matches too, but basically points out Clarity Act creates a legal foundation for banks to engage directly in the digital asset economy in ways that had previously been constrained by regulatory uncertainty. This represents a major step forward in legitimizing institutional participation in those markets, crypto markets. And this area, pull it up on the other screen, make it a little bit bigger for you guys watching on your phone. It says, I'm going to shrink this down a tad. Specifically speaking, for the banking industry, the Clarity Act is not just for legal formality and foundational step. And this bottom part, let's pull up this on the other screen, excuse me, points out this. Okay, so what is it? It says, moreover, by clarifying the legal boundaries of asset classes, the Clarity Act enables banks to innovate responsibly. With reduced risk of enforcement actions or conflicting agency interpretations, banks can develop digital custody offerings, explore tokenized asset platforms, and integrate blockchain-based services into their broader financial infrastructure. So I wouldn't mind talking about this with you guys for a brief bit, but the key highlight is where it says explore tokenized asset platforms. We're going to put some emphasis on those platforms. I think you guys know where I'm going to go with that. But nonetheless, let's come back into the screen about this. So I have a lot that we're going to unwrap, literally. And I have an interview, believe it or not, it's with a lady named, her last name is Russ, okay? And basically, in the video, her name is Lena Russ. There's this guy named Chris Skinner, and he asked her, he says, were you guys part of like Project Agora? And again, so many times myself and Channing, and I'll read the super chat here in just a second. So many times myself and Channing, we would get criticism in the past, like Quant has nothing to do with Project Agora. They don't have nothing to do with any of these projects. The only one they had anything to do with was Project Enbridge or Rosalind, and that was it. nothing else. And literally, this lady says, "Yeah, we worked on Project Agora. We worked on all of them, literally all of them." So people are literally going to be eating their words. But nonetheless, let's check this out. Super chat. I think it came from your side.
That's me. Yeah.
Future. Yeah, go for it.
Big Mike, man, thank you so much, brother. Big Mike's always got my back. Whenever I'm live, Big Mike's there. Says, Big Rob, you called Zebec from the start when people said it was a scam. When price does Dream Team think, yeah, it will hit absolutely before BTC heads down back to the 200-week moving average. Appreciate you guys for all the content. Yes, Big Mike, I remember. You remember when I literally was having to do videos debunking the misinformation that was going around about Zebec at the time? It was crazy. I literally had to make videos because there was so much wild misinformation going on around it. It was, thank you, Big Mike, for pointing that out. But yeah, it's hilarious, and it kind of goes off of what you were just saying, Max. Not just exclusively about that specific project, but just in general, people will be eating a lot of words about a lot of different projects out there because there's a severe lack of research being done when it comes to crypto. People hear things in their echo chambers and then they just repeat them. And like you said, like they said themselves, yes, we're working. We have worked with these people. We are working with these people, and even that's not good enough. You literally, with Zebec, you literally had Simon come on his spaces and say, we have been talking with Ripple for months and we are working on releasing a product together. And you'd still had people saying, no, they're not talking with Ripple. And so just to kind of, back reinforce what you're trying to get out there, Max.
Yeah. The other thing is just basically realizing that, like, again, back to Brad Garlinghouse's comments from, I would say, 3-4 years ago. He said basically 99% of all crypto will go away. Well, this may ruffle some feathers, and that's okay. I also feel as though that 99% of people that claim they believe in utility really don't. Yeah, I just said that. The reason why I say that is basically you're invested into utility, but yet countless times I see examples where people are like, I'm kind of doubting this. It's never going to do its thing. I'm really getting impatient. Again, back to you, Rob, because you pointed out for a while now, right? A few years. That's like being emotional. That's all it is. It's just being emotional. Like, people will claim that they understand the research. They'll claim like, I've seen the documents, but they'll be like, nothing is happening. And finally, now that there's actually some real clarity, what do people do? They're kind of hopping on the bandwagon. And again, I'm not trying to really bash people on this, but this is a reality. So now you see some people kind of hopping on the bandwagon, and then when they see comments, and I like the comments of Smoke, where it points out basically like some of this clarity and these catalysts, right? Because it is a catalyst. So some people are like, well, we're still in a bear market. This is a catalyst. That means only certain altcoins will do its thing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But basically, this is where I want to get into a little bit deeper with it all. The brand new announcements. All right.
Can I dive in
No,
on that?
you can't. You need to stop. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Now I'm embarrassed. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about what you're talking about there, because I believe that we have not to this point seen a utility-driven cycle, right? We have not. We've been in a 4-year cycle, and we've talked about this before. I do believe that slowly, not instantly, not like that, but slowly, we are going to start to see degrees of separation between utility tokens, and we're already seeing a lot of them start to get spot ETFs and stuff like that. For example, XRP, HBAR, right? How long before? There's not a quant one yet, right? But I'm pretty sure you will. You've got Chainlink, right? You're starting to see the winners are starting to rise. I mean, Jasmy's talking about a spot ETF in Japan, right? So you're starting to see the cream rise to the top a little bit here. And when we talk about 99% of altcoins going to zero, if you're talking to me about meme coins, okay, right? But if you're talking to me about just everything outside of meme coins, I got to call BS a little bit, because there's a lot of good, solid utility projects out there in a whole range of narratives. There are so many different narratives in crypto, right? Like, Um, layer ones are not going to go to zero because Web3 gaming booms, and like DeFi is not going to go under and go to zero because layer twos are doing awesome. I don't know, like you know what I'm saying? Like it's a boogeyman that people kind of put out there that there's a lot, and there's not going to be more than just one winner either. Like to quote Rue all the time, right? It's going to be a multi-chain future. There's going to be many winners, just like a fast food narrative or industry, right? You're going to have Burger King, you're going to have McDonald's, you're going to have Wendy's, you're going to have KFC, you're going to have Pizza Hut, man. You're going to have Taco Time, right? They're all doing different stuff. And guess what? That doesn't mean because Burger King makes the Whopper, that doesn't mean Taco Time's going to go out of business. It doesn't make any
Man,
sense.
shout out to you, brother. You know about Taco Time? That's so cool. I always just thought that was like a Oregon and Washington and Idaho and Northern California thing. Taco Time is so much better than Taco Bell, man. Like hands down.
Oh, 100%.
The Mexicali meal. Anyway.
Eli, dropping that cheddar as well. Rob's the man with the master plan. Thank you so much, guys. Listen, when you guys drop the super chats and stuff like that when we're doing these lives, it's absolutely appreciated because it takes a lot out of us, a lot of research, a lot of time, and we love spending it with you guys. So to get that reinforcement from you guys that you appreciate what we do on all four channels, whether it's Ruse, Max's, Crypto Future, or Coinvault, it's always massively appreciated, guys. We don't take it for granted at all. I just want to make sure that we stress that, right?
I think it's funny you got the Dorian Nakamoto, right? But yeah, shout out to you. I'm reading this last comment. Why not, right? You dropped Rob a super chat. So last comment says, bro, I really want tacos now. I'm telling you guys, shout out to you guys who live in the Phoenix Valley, especially you, Rue. Again, do you ever listen to, well, you came here, you're from Detroit. But back in the day, they had Power 92.3, and there was this crazy guy that would come on. His name was Santonio Banderas, and I probably explained this to you guys, but they had a segment. It was called the 330 Dirty. And he would come on and be like, hello, everybody. My name is Santonio Banderas, and welcome to the 330 Dirty. And he'd be like, today, instead of having Taco Tuesday, it's the 330 Dirty. I'm going to give you a bean burrito with sour cream, and I'm going to put it all over your face. And it was just like, what the heck did I just tune into? I'm trying to listen to Tupac. I'm trying to listen to Biggie. I'm trying to listen to Wu-Tang Clan. And this guy talking about a bean burrito with sour cream. I put it all over my face for the 330 Dirty. Yes, I just mentioned that because it's taco time, baby. Taco time. Anyway.
Yes. Shay, quick shout out. Tau and Hyperliquid. Absolutely. Definitely on my radar.
Yes, sir.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Max, but
no, that's all right. We're having a little fun here, which is good. I just saw some of the comments. Everybody's getting a little hungry over their tacos, so taco time. Anyway, so listen, what we're going to point out now is a little bit more of that XRP because this is good. Hold on. You want to read that? That came over on yours. Yes, go ahead.
Shout out to Fridge. He says, every day I wake up and look at the price of Zebec. I'm like, man, people just don't understand this opportunity. They still have to accumulate at 202. That's the thing, guys. Now, I was doing the math on it. I was talking to my Patreon community about this yesterday. If Zebec, I think Zebec comes down to about 2015 after Bitcoin makes its next leg down. Now, think about this. It's not financial advice, but if you scoop up Zebec at 2015, and if it just hits a penny, that's about a 600% return right there. And that's not a tall order either to just get to a penny. Just a little perspective for you. Absolutely.
That's a good perspective. Thank you guys for blessing old Rob. Wow, you guys really came out in full force for the Crypto Future crew. All right, so good stuff.
They must miss me. I haven't done a live stream. I only do live streams on Thursdays now with you guys, and then and that's it. Yeah, so I haven't done them in about a month. So maybe they missed me. Maybe they missed the live streams. We'll see. I love you guys.
Yes. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to share on the screen some things that matter. So it's a blast from the past with a little bit of what's going on in the new. And I think it's great to share this with you guys. Again, we have a lot of updates, brand new updates to give you guys. Okay, so big shout out again to Smoke. Makes my life so easy. Says yes, Ripple and XRP can assist banks in fulfilling Basel III requirements. Checkmark. Documented 3 times over. I've shared this in the past, but again, there's a whole new wave of people here, and it's important to share this, especially now, because when we share this again, you'll see the new update. Economic implications of a universal bridge asset employing Ripple and XRP can help banks eliminate or lower these costs. We see here for foreign exchange, this spread can be between fiat currencies or between fiat currency and XRP. Notice how it says XRP, held on the bank's balance sheet. When XRP is used, the model assumes that banks hold XRP on their balance sheets and provide their own liquidity for FX transactions. A disclaimer to all you guys, I did a recent collaboration with Jesse over at Apex Crypto Insights. We got into the weeds of quant with programmable liquidity and how it's going to benefit, believe it or not, Ripple with what? XRP and on-demand liquidity. You also see here the example of third-party market makers can also be used. And the bottom part, does he reference Basel III? We do with the LCR. And again, it says it right there. And I think it's interesting where it says the opportunity cost is sending an institution of holding lower yielding, high quality liquid assets as designed by pending Basel III regulations against credit exposure during the in-flight period. And if you wonder where it came from, this comes from actually Ripple, and where they explain the cost-cutting case for banks. Now, as we jump back, very important I share this other area. I'll leave this real quick on the screen for you. Teleporting gold. So why should banks care? Because Ripple plans to use XRP. Again, to use XRP to solve their liquidity problems. In a world of Basel III, Ripple's big idea is to use XRP once the market cap gets high enough. I'm going to zoom in on this. People have not, there's so many people, they skip over this. They're like, I see all these catalysts, Maximus, but I don't see an example where Ripple, by definition, in any document, would actually use XRP. And boom, you see right there, Ripple's big idea is to use XRP once its market cap gets high enough and it's being traded heavily enough to provide banks with liquidity on demand. And what shift do we see now, especially with quant? Programmable liquidity. Oh, that's awfully convenient, right? Of course it is awfully convenient, because you needed that clarity to begin with. And being stuck in the mud, being labeled as security, didn't help anything, right? But now, XRP, XLM, many others labeled as what? Commodities. All right, one more thing on this, and we'll give you the brand new update. On this one, it says specifically speaking, let's shrink this down a tad for it fits on your screen. It says here, basically, to make markets with any currency, banks can hold Ripple's digital asset on their own balance sheet. Instead, banks should consolidate liquidity into one pool, thus only making markets between its domestic currency and globally distributable digital asset, often referred to as universal bridge asset. And it says, for example, the cost of hedging a basket of currencies held in nostril accounts worldwide, treasury costs, liquidity costs. But basically, it meets the criteria of the Basel III requirements. Now, let's jump back to Smoke, and here's the brand new update. The reason why we went over all of that again is because 8 hours ago, I promised you guys to give you some new updates, and we'll get some panel discussion on this one. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, you guys know about him, right? Says, congratulations. Again, this is 8 hours ago, guys. Listen to this. Congratulations to the Federal Reserve. Also, OCC, Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, which ensures a safe and sound national banking system for all Americans, and also the FDIC on today's, boom, Basel capital proposal. So if you guys wonder why we cite things like Basel III, does this not add up? These are the things that most people aren't sharing with you guys. We provide this, all 3 of us, right? Especially on the Coin Vault. Give us a follow over on the Coin Vault. We have exclusive content there. Now watch this. There's a little bit more. And again, this is brand new. As you see here, March 19th. This was 10:18 a.m. as you see at the bottom. Today's outdated capital requirements are needlessly complex, misaligned with their actual objective. This is not me, Max, stating this. Again, who's saying it? Scott Bessent. Rather than solving for safety and soundness, they are pushing lending out the regulated banking system while simultaneously impeding economic growth. Again, he does a little bash on the last president, but under President Trump's leadership, we have taken a principled and calibrated approach that simplifies capital requirements and fosters a level playing field for banks of all sizes. That part about level playing field, so many central bankers have cited that. Brad Garlinghouse has cited that. So many big institutions have cited that exact phrase. Go look it up. If finalized, this proposal would advance those goals, fostering economic growth through our regulatory regime. Today is an important step in the regulatory reset. Notice how it says reset. Literally, they're telling you about a great reset through what? Regulations, ladies and gentlemen. Our administration is working towards marking meaningful progress toward a financial system that builds parallel prosperity for Main Street and Wall Street. Notice how we have a shift now, guys, where it's not just about Wall Street. And as we know, Ethereum has dominated that piece of the pie when it comes to Wall Street, but they now mention Main Street in that mix. I'm going to go ahead and reshare this. I want to jump back to a panel to have some discussion about this. Guys, there is so much about clarity. We covered on CoinVault. We've been covering it on our own channels. It's not just like we're getting some clarity. To me personally, we're getting this day after day after day, and it's just going to be spearheading the charge for real, true clarity moving forward. I think, honestly, maybe within the next month or two, we will get our answers in regard to stable coins. I know you got another super chat. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, before I read the super chat, I just wanted to kind of capitalize on what you said. I mentioned this when we were shooting yesterday as well, that, I mean, David Schwartz himself said XRP was not designed to be cheap, period, full stop, right? When it comes to, I mean, that's really what they're waiting for, like you said, right? They're waiting for it to be more valuable because what? If you're sending, and I'm just going to throw numbers out there randomly, arbitrary numbers, but if you're sending $10 million and XRP is $1 million a coin, well, you need a lot less XRP to send it, right? As opposed to it being $1 and you're sending $10 million. Well, you need a lot more XRP, right? So kind of think about it like that. But Chris, my guy, my dude, what's up, man? He says, okay, gentlemen, not financially addictive. First one to make a million at the following levels, which is equal investment to dry powder. XLM, 200,000, HBAR 300,000, or XDC 1 milli. Which one gets you $1 million first? What do you think, boys?
I'm gonna actually go with XLM on that one. I've been very consistent personally. Part of my top 5, XLM stands in a category of its own as number 2. I have QNT and XRP tied for my number 1s. I just think there's too much there with XLM. XLM may not be, as far as you guys concerned, like in your top 2 or 3, but Rue, you mentioned it numerous times that so much emphasis on Ripple over the years, but not enough mention about Steller. And again, what did we see today? The big bombshell of Zebec and literally Steller, and they chose them for streamlined stablecoin payroll. And again, it's just like some people in the past. Remember what you said earlier, Rue? Steller doesn't need Zebec. Well, apparently they do. Okay, if they could do it on their own, they would have done it on their own, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Can I just, before Rue chimes in, can I just add to that by saying that I think that one of the reasons XRP got a lot more of the limelight was because of the court case. Let's be real, right? And that's why there was a lot less talk about XLM. But let's not forget that the XLM and XRP charts have been heavily correlated throughout almost their entire existence together, right? So XRP goes, so does XLM, in my opinion. But I'm going to save mine for last. Rue, what do you think, man?
I concur. I definitely think XLM. I think people are sleeping on it. I was going to mention exactly what you said there, Max, with the news today. And like people have said in the comments, well, why would XLM? Well, why would they use Zebec? They could just do it on their own,
Guys, and another thing, just so sorry. We cover this on CoinVault. Please, you guys, I really encourage you to do this, all right? So if all this stuff is just going right past your head, you're like, oh, you guys are citing documents, ain't nobody having that. Well, listen to this. We covered on CoinVault the whole thing of Stellar and Forge. I honestly think that is the most slept on news that just came out. Forge. Forge with Societe Generale. Societe Generale, direct partner with who? Banque de France. Banque de France, the oversight of the Bank for International Settlements, who is the central bank of central banks. Now, the reason why it's so big is because we both, all three of us, we share this in documents numerous times, especially recently. Ripple, Quant, Hedera, working on the digital euro. And I'll prove it even again in an interview, right? So again, digital euro. But Stellar is doing what? Digital euro stable coin. Then back to Zebec. Because the news that recently came out, maybe we should share this on the screen again. I think we should. Let's share this on the screen again. There's people just tuned in. The reason why this is so slept on is because when we get into it, again, these announcements where basically Zebec reshares that Stellar Orb has selected Zebec as a global stablecoin payroll infrastructure provider for the Stellar ecosystem. So for one, in our video earlier today, when it came to Coin Vault, right? We point out that basically Zebec, it might be another video, I don't know. I'll have to catch up on it. But basically, Zebec has strategically positioned itself for both US and European markets. How so? Well, think about that. If Stellar already is the chosen one for a digital euro stablecoin, again, not just a digital euro, right? They're not part of the digital euro. The digital euro stablecoin, it literally says here that Zebec was chosen as this global stablecoin payroll infrastructure provider for the Stellar ecosystem. What does this mean, you guys? It means liquidity. And I don't care what project it is. Utility, heck, it could just be Bitcoin. It could just be memes. If you have liquidity coming into your project, that is the biggest catalyst of them all, because that would equal price action. Because literally actual funds are coming into your ecosystem, period.
I try to stress that all the time to people. They're looking for catalysts and stuff. And I say, guys, liquidity is what your project needs, not, major catalysts in a bear market and stuff. For me, guys, I'm going to go H-bar. I'm going to go H-bar. I love XLM, but I can't just say the same thing as you guys. So I got to go a different route, right? So I'm going to go H-bar. They're doing a lot of great stuff, right? They're into tokenization of RWAs now. They do have a spot ETF as well. So I'm going to have to go with H-bar.
I want to get your 2 cents on this, Rue, because he asked us all, but I will state this. I just want to say this real quick. I have who was that earlier, Chris? Chris, I have XDC and H-bar tied for my number 4s on my top 5. So I just want to throw that out there. Anyway.
Okay, so yeah, back to what I was saying, guys. I was actually really going to go there with, I think people are really underestimating the partnership with the euro and how that's connected in with Stellar. Max, got to give you some credit, brother. Like I always do. You've been mentioning and talking about Stellar with the euro for quite a while. On the channel, I've definitely been talking about the Euro AU with the All Unity stablecoin with Zebec. So both of those things are tied together, right? And you guys, you may not know that David Schwartz all the time, he drops riddles all the time. So here's part of a riddle he dropped not too long ago here. He says, what is this? Wrong answers only. So this is March 17, 2026. Someone says this is like the Urian constellation, Euro and Orion together, right? Urian, E-U, like the Euro, right?
Euro Orion, yeah.
Right? So very interesting there. I think he's pointing to the Euro, right? And again, we've been over it on the Coin Vault. We've been over it with Zebec, with the All Unity stablecoin, with Stellar and what they're doing with the euro. And you can see here, Uphold, they come and tweet, their logo kind of matches it, or
Nice.
as far as dimensions. You see here, Bull Runners mentions another kind of riddle. I forget who put this riddle out, but it's above the snowball here. That same figure, right? Okay. And I think someone else mentioned something about it here, but here I think what David Schwartz is pointing to is the euro being kind of a trip to all of this. And this announcement we have with you, go ahead.
I could see it. That's
So like this announcement we have with all of this, I think people are really sleeping on what's happening with the Euro and Zebec and Steller, and I think that's really my answer, and I would take Steller in that group of three all day long, and it's not even close.
epic. You really can't go wrong at the end of the day, to be perfectly honest with you. They're all good choices. So
Yeah. I think a lot of these are obviously going to have its heyday. I just noticed Stefan Eckel in the house. Welcome, Stefan. Glad to have you here. Anybody else that just joined, thank you so much for joining us here on the Coin Vault slash, Maximus Crypto, Crypto Future, Rue Crew, for simulcasted broadcast, right?
yeah, I want to add, we still just need 2 subs to hit 16,000, guys. So hit the sub button, push us over 16,000. We need 2. Come on, 2 people. All right, let's keep it. Apparently, Rue has to turn his mic up. I don't know if you read that or not, but
I did. It's always something with this mic. Okay, I'll turn it up a little bit.
oh, here's one from Moonfeather. She says March 17th on St. Patrick's Day, green circles. Could Brad's St. Patrick's pick prelude to this? Interesting. I didn't think about that. St. Patty's, and I'm 90% Celtic. Shame on me.
Sure.
I just subbed. Thank you so much. Cheat codes. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Rule is good. I'll agree with that.
Yeah, with the volume. Okay, yeah, I don't know.
Shay, also thank you. Guys, thank you for pushing us up over 16. Greatly appreciated, man. It means a lot, right? Thank you so
Hey,
much.
congratulations, Rob. That's
Congratulations.
awesome, man. Yeah.
Same thing with White House. Thank you so much, man. Guys, absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. Right in the feels. Let's keep rolling, though. What do you got, Max? We keep interrupting you, man.
Oh no, it's okay. It's it's gonna happen, right? So personally, I thought the whole thing with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, very powerful message in light of what we recently just shared from Paul Atkins the other day. We covered it on Coin Vault. We have some other really interesting videos coming out on our lineup over there. We have exclusive content basically over there. And I did see that we got over on Coin Vault. Thank you so much to you guys tuning in. We had, I think, as much as 24 over there. I mean, that's a brand new channel to pull in, like 20 some odd listeners over there. Thanks. It means a lot, you guys. Really appreciate that. But we do have exclusive content that we do post basically over there. So if you guys want to check it out, I'm going to drop you guys a link real quick and we'll get back into the news just here in a minute. I'll put it into the comments. Hopefully it posts. If not, I'll just share the private chat with okay, there it shows it. So take a look into it.
Yes, we do love Stronghold.
Yeah, we do cover that, especially. We did a crossover one. It's one of our best performing videos. Anyway, let's jump back over to this. This is another announcement that we definitely want to get into. And this is new. Okay, so this one's a video. Sometimes you guys like to have a video, right? Not many people share this. Okay, so this is a brand new video from Ripple. Okay, and it says the role of XRP in a diversified crypto portfolio. And this is from Rayhenia Sharif Askari of Grayscale. Now, I really want you to pay attention to this because she's going to mention specifically like ETFs and whatnot. And how long ago was this? It was literally just the other day. Nobody commented on it. Okay. So that tells me that it wasn't really shared. Let's share this, get some insight from our panel on this. And if anything, consider smashing that like. Here we go.
An ETF opens the door to entirely new groups of investors and is going to continue to drive forward the ecosystem. Hi, I'm Ray Sharif Askari. I lead product and research at Grayscale. Grayscale is the world's largest crypto native asset manager. XRP is a battle-tested blockchain. It's been around for a long time. I think these assets have different kind of use cases and exposure that's right for different kinds of investors. That's why we created the Grayscale crypto sectors, which is a taxonomy that divides the crypto ecosystem into 6 sectors based on investable exposure and use case. XRP is an important part of the currency sector. We've been doing this a long time. We were the first to take Bitcoin and put it in a financial product. We were the first to challenge the incumbent regulatory infrastructure to bring crypto ETFs to market. So we have been engaging with regulators to help move forward this industry for a long time, and we plan to keep doing that. As investors wrap their head around Bitcoin, as they start thinking about smart contracts like Ethereum, they are starting to think beyond that, and they're thinking about how they diversify amongst the other 50% or so of the crypto market cap that's not Bitcoin. To me, the on-chain economy represents the growing set of applications, assets, and activity that operate natively on blockchains instead of in traditional infrastructure. Practically speaking, that means economic value that's recorded, transacted, and verified on blockchain networks. A potential XRP ETF opens the door to entirely new groups of investors. Now we have people asking how to allocate. We have crypto ETFs. We have a president on 60 Minutes talking about Bitcoin and crypto. This is just the beginning.
All right, I do apologize, Rob, about the music. I didn't realize it was that bad, but nonetheless, it's the message. Great message. Want to get some of your thoughts on this because this is brand new, and if anything from Grayscale, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, if we end up with a copyright, we'll just have to clip that part out on the replay if you're wondering why it's not there.
Or just mute the music. That's what I've been doing, and it's been turning out pretty well.
Yeah.
It's a new feature of YouTube.
What do you think, Rue?
Well, I think people are going to kick themselves when they realize the price that XRP is right now. Flash forward to like a year and the price is going to be then, right? And like you said, Max, I think they somehow figured out a way to release that video, but not really notify people. Kind of like they do when some of us go live, right? Because if people realize how big, right, Ripple can be, right? Like I think we diehard crypto people here, right, in the room, we know. But the rest of the world, they have no idea. And they would trip over themselves to grab Ripple at $1.47 or $1.44, whatever it is right now, knowing what it's going to be in the future. So
the same way
people have a big opportunity here.
The same way people are looking back at the 2022 bear market saying it was 30 cents, 28 to 30 cents. Now, like absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Just let you know there's some trolls coming in, so just give you a heads up. Anyway.
That's fine. You know what? Heavy is the crown, man. That's what they say, right?
Yep.
Wait, here's the thing, man. My biggest flops are your greatest hits, haters. Let's go.
Yeah, I just noticed a couple trolls came into the comments, but thank you, trolls. God bless you. We pray for you, really.
Yep. All right, let's keep it rolling, man.
All right, so what we have also is to get into what I consider a very, very big discovery. I covered this recently with King Channing, and we're going to obviously have a full breakdown on this, but I do want to provide this to the community. So for one, I want to establish, as the saying goes, a paper trail again. And basically speaking, I want to share with you why we get so deep into it all, okay? For one, this is a brand new update, came out just literally earlier today. This is from leaprate.com. It points out JPM coin, and in it says, is currently a prototype that would be tested with a small number of JP Morgan's institutional clients. Okay, so again, JP Morgan, with plans to expand the pilot program later this year, as in 2026, JPM coin is currently designed for business-to-business money movement flows, and because we are still at a testing phase. We don't have plans to make this available to individuals at the stage. That said, the cost savings and efficiency benefits would extend to end customers of our institutional clients. So this kind of seems familiar. I mean, in reality, Canton for the longest time, right, was just private, and then they went public. They were 15 years in the making. Is JP Morgan also looking to go the same route? Could possibly be the case, right? But one thing I want to point out to you guys is I want you guys to understand that, yeah, JP Morgan did choose things like even Canton, but it doesn't mean it's exclusive to just Canton. Now, here's why this is all important to cite some of these things. Quant Network recently pointed out tokenized deposits, stablecoins, wholesale CBDCs, the comparison every financial institution needs in 2026. So drop it all the way down to this part. They point out specifically the three corners of digital money: stablecoins, wholesale CBDCs, and tokenized deposits. They give a full comparison, and in that comparison, they specifically highlight some things that you should pay attention to. Number one, not just programmability, but this ISO 222 compatible. In the chart, when they point out stablecoin, wholesale CBDC, and tokenized deposit, when you drop it down to this, where it says, are stablecoins ISO 222 compatible? It says no. Well, think about that. If ISO 222 was compliant with stablecoins, kind of ruin the use case of like bridge currencies, like your XRPs, et cetera, et cetera. I also find it interesting on the bottom part, they explicitly mention stablecoins such as USDC, USDT, and JPM coin. Right next to it, as far as the wholesale CBDCs, they mention Bunge's Bank, which we've been talking a lot, especially on the Coin Vault, and Project Agora from the Bank for International Settlements. Now, you may figure out or find out why is that so big? This is one of the biggest bombshells that we have dropped in a long, long time. Lennon Russ, in her part 2 video with Chris Skinner, points out 7 days ago from Vimeo, programmable liquidity in action, real world applications for banks and corporates. I will state this, and I want to come fully into the frame on this one. A disclaimer. A lot of people, one of the guys that you dropped into the comments has said in the past that none of this is true. It's all hogwash. I won't say who that person is. He knows who he is. He's going to be eating his words here. Plain and simple. Many people will be eating their words here. They have claimed that Quant Network has no connections whatsoever to basically Project Agora, and the only one that's ever worked on is basically Project Roslyn. You will see firsthand account from the Quant Network in this interview that it's not just Project Agora, it's all of them. And when I say all of them, I truly mean that. We're going to go ahead and pull this back up on the screen, and you will see a firsthand account of it all. I fast forward to this key area. Please listen closely, and if anything, drop in the comments what you think. We're going to full screen this. Here we go.
Final question, then we'll wrap up. But there's lots of projects going on, from the things we see from Swift to the Project Agora, for example, from BIS.
Yes.
You know, are you involved in all of those, or are you independent of all of those?
We are involved in those. So one of the so we are involved in multiple programs. I mean, the Bank of England Synchronization Lab. This is key because this will fundamentally change kind of like payments going forward, right? This is game changing from a financial infrastructure perspective. We are involved with the European Central Bank as well as we are involved with the Bank of Japan. So as I've mentioned, one of the key markers of sort of the evolution of the technology, the innovation, is really the focus of the central banks and the sort of regulatory bodies like the Financial Services Agency that's in Japan, or the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK, right? So we are actually working with not just commercial banks and consortiums, but we are also working very actively with the regulators.
Fascinating discussion, Lena. I guess we'll leave it there. Except that maybe one last comment from your perspective before I talk to Gilbert next week, no, next month.
Yeah.
The future, any view?
I would say that I think that from the future would be democratization of assets. So I come from the capital market space, so this probably warrants another 45 minutes with you if we can talk about that. But for me, the future here is really democratization of assets, and this will sort of enable consumers like you and me to be able to have access to this. But it's not, I mean, today it's already happening with trading 212, right? You can invest in ETFs, etc. But
Oh my goodness. Let's come back. So for one, let's break it down. You just heard from her. Yes, Project Agora, Bank of International Settlements, fully confirmed. Not just Max sharing that with you guys. And Chris Skinner literally asked Lena, he said, what about, like some of the other projects? She was just like, yeah, basically like all of them. That's amazing. And how about this, Rob? Because you went over to Japan. She talked about what was really important moving forward is the democratization of assets. And did she not just mention Central Bank of Japan, right? That is so huge. And we know about the crossover. Obviously, there's a common ground partner with both Jasmine and also Quant Network. I don't even know what to say, man. When I saw that, I was absolutely speechless.
Well, that's the thing. We always bring receipts. There's a comment. I'm not going to say the person's name. It's on one of your guys' lives. I would just block that person because I saw that person over on X, and it seems like what he's doing is he's just trying to get followers from other people's content, right? He like hashtagged his own channel and stuff like that, and he's been doing it over on X as well. So he's trying to gain followers from other people because I guess his content's not good enough to get followers on his own. So maybe if I was you, whichever one it is, I would just block him, right? Feed off someone else, Leech, right?
Yeah. I don't know what causes a person to do what he does, but nonetheless, I'll pray for you, man. I don't know what you're going through and why you're doing what you're doing, but
Thanks, Mooney.
Mooney says, great live tonight. Absolutely. Jetpack's asking a question here for you, Max. Can enterprises use Quant without holding or needing the token? If so, what will drive the demand for Quant?
This has been covered numerous times, numerous deep dives, also from Tokenizer. Can enterprises use Quant without holding or needing the token? They need to hold the token. That's the whole part, of the benefit of Quant. So you got to look at QNT as, some people flood it. They say it's just an ERC20 token. In reality, it's a skeleton key that opens up a whole suite of products. What are those products? I mean, Gilbert Verdian's literally mentioned this before in his original pitch when he was on stage. I think it was 2017, talking about the overledger and basically trying to live out the dream of what the internet was originally intended for, to decentralize it. But basically, yeah, he talked about like opening up like an Apple App Store. So we're entering into what is referred to as a finternet, a financial internet. And basically QNT is that key that will open up the whole suite. Well, what's that whole suite? Again, the Overledger, the OVN is literally what it's called, the Overledger network, that whole suite. So how many products have you seen that's part of that suite? Well, for one, you've seen not just the Overledger itself, but there's like Quant Authorized, there's Quant PayScript. What is PayScript? PayScript basically leverages, believe it or not, things like Swift. And I encourage you guys to watch myself and Channing's deep dive. We have uncovered where they even confirm Swift. Yes, Swift. So you guys are real early on some of this. I would encourage you to watch that video because in the video we get really deep into it all. And again, think about how many projects are not even blockchain related where Quant in itself through the Overledger leverages these products. We mentioned things like ADP, and don't get me wrong, we know that there's Zebec and ADP, but myself and Rue, I think around this time last year, gave you guys countless examples of the common ground of Quant Network And even with the Zebec crossover, like it wasn't like we just gave you one example and it was ADP. We gave you guys consistently countless examples. It was I think at one point, real we counted, it was like something like 13 or 14 different examples. So it's in the title itself. The Overledger has what they call, it's like a horizontal platform designed to literally scale and leverage all these technologies moving into Web3 in itself. It's not about just doing one and done. Again, the mission of it is to create a fully interoperable, like, plumbing system for the new financial internet. And you guys are going to hear more of these terminologies in the future. The term finternet, like the concept of finternet, financial internet, will be a household name that everybody will basically use in their regular vocabulary. May not seem like it right now, but that is the case. So to answer the question, QNT is absolutely needed for that. And it's also deflationary. Can you imagine that? 14.5 million tokens, and they have burns, and it's deflationary. So I mean, yeah, that is nuts, right?
Stump Rider is a new member on one of your channels, guys. So shout out to Stump.
Yeah, thanks, Stump Rider, for being a Maximus crypto veteran support. It means a lot, man. Thank you so much. You're an OG in the space.
I just wanted to either of you guys to answer this. I've seen it pop up like 6 or 7 times now. Stronghold, people are asking for any kind of an update on Stronghold. I personally don't have any kind of catalysts or news updates on Stronghold lately, but it is it's in my list of favorite projects for sure. I love Stronghold. So
I think with this partnership that Zebec just announced, I think kind of slept on thing is Stronghold. Like, I kind of made connections with a company called Bridge, which is a Stripe company, where it's possible that Stronghold could be involved there, because Bridge basically does like some translation of stable coins for the like kind of what's going on with the legacy system. So a kind of silent winner of that deal might be Stronghold, right? And I think when the whole plan for Stronghold comes into fruition, like they were at Davos this year, right? They're definitely going to take off. I really wonder who's holding their escrow. Like, excuse me, like who are they going to give their escrowed coins to?
Interesting. Metallic Buterin. Full of Shiba Inu.
Right?
I had to. Come on. I had to. Yep, absolutely. What else you got for us, brother?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. Before the show, I put in like an hour and a half trying to really bring it tonight. So I hope you guys appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely, man. Everybody, all I've been reading in the chat is everybody showing Max love with his deep dive research and stuff like that. It's absolutely, man.
Well, I appreciate you guys. It means a lot. And, shout out to our brothers here. We came together to create what is referred to as the Coin Vault. And we're very passionate about this. We've been covering blockchain and DLT for many, many years now. It's not just something that, we do just because it's cool or anything. It's something that we really passionately do believe in, because we feel as though that with the research, we actually share real documents. And it's just like we're convinced with the evidence that basically this is the new frontier that we're going to enter into. I'm going to now share with you another key connector, and now it's the Ripple side of things. Okay. So something I want to share with you guys is this, and we kind of share this on Coin Vault, but I want to give you guys a paper trail here. Okay. So basically speaking, I want you guys to understand why we talked about JPM coin. Okay. Ripple, the few other days ago, right, on the 16th, pointed out that digital marketplace is important to the future. And Ripple is is the right partner to take us there, says Eddie Gonzalez, president of iPayout. Ripple Payments helps iPayout deliver real-time payouts in the United States and Canada from days to seconds. All right. I'm going to mute this because we don't want too many copyrights, right? But I'm going to fast forward to this key area, and it's right there. Okay. So again, this is Ripple official account on X, literally highlighting iPayout. And in the demo, they only show it for like a split second, give or take. how they point out XRP connecting right to the JPM coin. Okay, JP Morgan. Okay, this is not Maximus Crypto saying it. Literally, I'm showing you the evidence. So I already showed you the evidence in regard to what you saw here from Quant Network in regard to that example of Boonjuice Bank, and then boom, Bank for International Settlements, Project Agora, and boom, right next to it, JPM coin. Do you find it interesting, the findings, especially here, about when Leonard Russ was asked by Chris Skinner, do you guys work on Project Agora? And she's like, yeah, without any hesitation. And basically, and he was like, well, what about some of the other central bank projects? And she's like, yeah, basically all of them. Like, are you kidding me? And then to also connect this with Ripple, with XRP, with JPM, guys, I'm telling you flat out, do you understand how big the amount of transactions that JP Morgan does per day, whether we like them or not? Look it up for yourself. It's 10 trillion in a day. Okay.
That's insane.
It is insane. And I looked this up myself. Shout out to Jesse of Apex Crypto Insights. He has mentioned in the past, he says what's important to recognize when it comes to like QNT and XRP and all this is that Bitcoin in itself, right? Like nothing against Bitcoin, but a central bank can basically transact in a day what Bitcoin does in a year. And I looked that up, and there is a citation. Look it up for yourself, guys, where CoinDesk references it with real documents and material. So that actually is a real thing. It wasn't just Jesse whipping it out for whatever reason and just out of the woodwork. No. These are real statements, and these are actual factual statements. So what I find also interesting is this, and here's a new update. This was just released like 2-3 hours before the show. Shout out to Coin Bureau. We're the Coin Vault. Shout out to Coin Bureau. XRP treasury firm set to go public on the NASDAQ. Evernorth Holdings filed an S4 to SEC for a SPAC merger. Yes, a merger with Armada Acquisition Corporation 2. The firm is set to become the largest publicly traded XRP treasury company holding 473 million XRP, which accounts to 692 million according to current market valuation, mirroring strategies of BTC's model. Again, this was earlier, today, March 19th. I apologize, I thought it was a few hours ago, but nonetheless, it was early this morning. Okay. Now, do you find it interesting, again, that we have these other findings? I've shared this numerous times, but there's a whole new wave of people. Quant over ledger integration with what? Boom. Boil it, mash, stick in and stew. NASDAQ data link, time series, and table data. I don't find it to be too overly interesting because we reestablished this, but again, there's a new wave of people and it's there. And how about this? All right. We are now going to transition in a little bit to the last part of what I have, which is obviously Metallicus. I included that in the thumbnail. So I want to have a discussion with you guys. I more than shared enough evidence. JP Morgan coin, Ripple, obviously Quant Network. I mean, even with you guys, I need to read a lot of comments, but I honestly want to know what you think about this.
Is it any surprise that JP Morgan is elbow deep into this now, and they were the ones screaming the loudest on national television that crypto was a pet rock, not just 2 years ago, right?
Oh, that just sparked my memory on that. Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, brother. I'm sorry about that. It just sparked my memory on this. So earlier we were talking about utility run, right? Technically speaking, there has been a utility run. It's not in the sense of like crypto. There has been utilities in the sense of traditional markets many years ago. You'd be like, what are you talking about? Okay, here's an example. Long before Bitcoin and all that stuff. I'm going to read this comment in a second. Thank you so much for that. All right, back to whether a person's a fan of Glenn Beck or not. Glenn Beck had a special guest, and they point out specifically the manipulation. And they point out basically in the late 90s and early 2000s, like people that held AOL stock and various other stocks, what did the big institutions do? They try to create fear-mongering of like, oh, you need to get out of this asset and blah, blah, blah. So as a result, the institutions, Rob and Rue, they went on a utility run because they bought the fear of it all, right? So
you're not wrong.
No, I'm not. That was a utility run, right? So as a result, it's like it's almost like legalized manipulation because it's not insider trading so much. I mean, it does feel that way, but what changes and what's going to change is the last part that we're going to get into. I think it's Metallicus is going to change it. And I'm going to show you real evidence to support this. Brand new updates. Shout out to Marshall Hayner. Rue, I know you love anything Marshall Hayner, but he shares some really interesting things lately. So I'm going to read this comment. This is from, who's that from? Mad Off Tabaris 741. I apologize if I butchered that up. Max, you're doing an excellent job. Thank you. Put in the work and going deep with your research. Don't let the negative voices distract you. Keep pushing forward. I don't. I just think it's interesting that there's a particular person who rings a bell that wants to go after me all the time. Especially when he says I'm not that educated. Just a disclaimer. I usually try not to brag about this, but I did graduate top of my class. I am a former class valedictorian. I averaged a 4.0 GPA. I became the first student in school history. The school was around since 1891 to finish with 4 degrees in under 3.5 years. So for him to say I'm not that educated, whatever. Says I don't understand tokenomics. I'm reading some of the comments. I'm not going to do too much. He says he wanted to debate me, and I called him out. I never wanted to debate him. Other people in the community said I wanted to debate him. He says he's an ex-school teacher. That part is right. With no financial background. That part's not true. I do have a financial background. I literally majored in finance, and I was a loan officer for 2 years, so he's incorrect about that. And it is what it is. I'm not going to chase down people for petty arguments. And all I can say is this. The guy who rings the bell, I do pray for the guy. Because you know what? If I'm going to claim to be a Christian, I should pray for my enemies. And I don't want to make him an enemy. It's just he has a difference of opinion. That's okay. But I do find it crazy. He's always constantly attacking me, and it is what it is. But thank you, guys.
I will say King Pond, I'm going to take that as a compliment. Scott Ritter must be an incredibly handsome man. I have no idea who he is, but thank you so much for that. And then we got Rise Above.
That did come on my channel. Yeah, thank you so much, Rise Above. That means a lot. You've been a long-time supporter. Let me see what your comment is. Your super chat. Thanks, man. Says hands down to all your deep dives, brother Max. Appreciate YouTube channel. Thanks, man. And I also want to state this: it's not just me. These guys do excellent deep dives. And again, I did see that you subscribed over to the Coin Vault. Thank you so much for supporting that specific channel. We're very close to monetization over on that, which is awesome. You know, we discussed this, do we not, daily, guys, that our viewer to subscriber ratio on there is off the charts. Yeah, it really is. We are so stoked about it. But Rise Above, thanks for being a real OG support in this space. And you know, some of you guys joke, you're like, oh, you know, Max, you're the GOAT. I'm not the GOAT. It's not about being the GOAT. What it is about is just providing you guys real deep information. There's so much fluff out there. We three agree with this. And I remember, Rue, shout to you, man. Like back in the day, you came in and you were in the comments, and then I was just like, who is this Rue Black guy? And then I looked into your channel and I said to myself, my God, me and him speak the same language. We have the same, for the most part, like the same style of deep dive research. And, you know, I'm a firm believer that the Lord puts certain people, like literally in your path and part of that journey. We're all on a crypto journey together. And, you know, I've been very blessed to be, you know, to say these guys are my brothers. They're my friends. And, you know, shout to you guys in the community. I really appreciate you guys. There's so many OGs in the space. Stefan Eckel, you, Rise Above. I even see XXI Gaming, you know, Brandon in the house, man. I can't thank you guys enough. It tells us that you guys really do value our content. And for you to be here with us at least once a week, or sometimes, like, shout out to these guys, right? Like, they do consistent live shows. I used to be that guy. I'm not that guy anymore. But I mean, I did it like a year and a half straight, like clockwork, daily, right? 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, of you know, back in the day with Crypto Talk. But it just, I was like, I need to build it out a different way. But these guys encouraged me, like, look, you got to come back. You got to do a live show at least once a week. And we're doing that. So can't thank you guys enough. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, brother.
Hey guys, I just want to share something right quick.
Sure, by all means, go for it.
You've really been kind of hogging the whole stream, Rue, I gotta say. So, I mean, I'm gonna let
It's
this one
what I
go.
do. Me. You know, out here.
And Rue, this is no knock on you. I actually want to say this. I love your laugh. I don't know if anybody's ever told you that, that they love your laugh. I love your laugh. You're from Detroit. It's kind of like a milder version, in my opinion. I hope you don't take this the wrong way, of like Eddie Murphy's laugh. It's like what is it about guys from Detroit or something,
Well,
right?
if I
With
can
that
make
laugh,
Eddie Murphy money, that would just be
right? Right.
I'll take that. Thank you. That's actually a compliment. Thank you, brother.
No problem. No problem.
What were you gonna share, Rue?
I shared it. I have it up as soon as you can. Yep. So, talk about JP Morgan and XRP. Swift this is from a while back here, February 19, 2026, where JP Morgan and Ripple with G Treasury made a deal together. So, if we scroll down here, G Treasury payments integration. G Treasury has partnered with JP Morgan to simplify receiving or retrieving intraday and historical balance data from your cash reporting accounts. This straightforward and secure integration gives them Treasury teams real-time access to their data, providing valuable insight and decision making. So it's clear that these guys are partners together. I know people keep making a whole linear thing and keep trying to have it divided, but shout out, I've mentioned this before, and then when Max, you introduced me to Jesse, Apex Insights, the central banks have a currency, XDR, that they trade in between themselves. So all the central banks are connected. So it's kind of silly to me that people would think that Quant wouldn't be working on all the central bank projects, especially if Ripple and Quant's technology may be used by all of them, right? And so that would just make logical sense. But I think a lot of people get lost in the weeds of, okay, G7 and BRICS, or this country against that country, and they don't realize and follow the money. Well, the money is, they all use this XDR between themselves. They all have certain connections economically. It's a global economy, okay? So that's all I had to say on that.
Great perspective. Great share on that. I want to, before we close it out, because I know we need to, right? We're going on an hour and a half. As promised, I want to get into a little bit of Metallicus. Do you have any comments you want to read real quick, Rob or Rue, before we get into the last segment of our show, which is Metallicus?
I did want to highlight the Eddie Murphy laugh. It's spot on. Perfect timing. And of course, Hugo says, I also love the Coin Vault heart.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
We did a couple cool things. I was telling Rob and Rue after I chopped up the video, I said, guys, check out the intro. It literally shows like a coin vault, which was cool. And then before 3-minute mark, there was the guy that does the cackle. It's a very famous meme, right? They call it KEKEKE or whatever in Espanol. I had to throw that in there when you made that reference to the throw pillow Gary Gensler, right? That was hilarious. So some people appreciate the humor, which is good. It's a nice break to not always be so super serious, but at the same time, boom, back to the serious stuff, right? So,
Yeah.
I'll read this. Mad off Tabaras 741. By the way, Max, I love your intro. Video. Can you tell me? You can tell a lot of work. Oh well, thanks. I appreciate that. We have intros, outros, you name it. So all right, so Rue, you're gonna love this, man, because I know you're real big on Metallicus. All right, shout out to Elon Muff. He's been sharing a lot of Metallicus. He always sends me texts. He's like, bro, Metallicus, and especially on our Patreon, Metallicus. It's almost like Elon Muff has became a Web3 version of Steve Ballmer, because Ballmer back in the day was like developers, 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 developers. I don't know if you guys seen that, but anyway. So Metallicus.
Are you talking about Elon Musk, aka Ruel Black or Ruel White?
Yes, yes, that's the exact guy we're talking about, right? The literally the godfather of Maximus Crypto ISO coins, right? To the exception of XLM. Anyway, so we want to pull this up for you guys. We want to share with you what recently has been shared with Marshall Hayner, and Marshall Hayner has been really busy sharing some of these tweets. So, for one, he posted this earlier today. And he says, we have the power, right? We have the power to make this the best generation of mankind in the history of the world, or make it the last, right? And of course, in the background there, I believe you see JFK, right? I went to the JFK Memorial many years ago. I went to the former Dallas Book Depository back in 2007. Always been kind of obsessed with that whole thing, right? So anyway, Marshall Hayner of Metallicus, okay? As we get further into this, I want you guys to understand why we get into it all, right? And big shout out to you guys on X. Thank you so much. Wow. I mean, look at this crowd that we have here. A lot of you guys tuned in on X, and also, yeah, all three of us on X. So shout out to the X group.
We have almost 1,500 people total watching right now. So thank you, everybody.
That's insane. Thank you, guys. We appreciate that. So Rue, check this out, and especially you too, Rob. We want to get into this. So I want to cite this because it makes sense. Again, like kind of like a paper trail, if you will. We see here specifically, Marshall Hayner says, it's time to put the U.S. Treasury on chain with KYG. And I want to highlight this. Some of you guys are OG Metallicus people. You've already seen this. I have called this for the longest time. I said to myself, I want to see in the future, hopefully by 2028, but in reality, I'm thinking no later than 2032. I want to see where we can have like verifiable votes. Forget all this division of, blaming Republicans, blaming Democrats. Forget all of that. Come on, we're talking about blockchain, you guys. We should be able to verify, if there was any, bad actors at play. Marshall Hayner literally references this. If you think about it, he says, know your government, KYG, all expenses tracked real time, unalterable, and fully transparent to the public, each government office having their own verified digital identity that can be held accountable via the United States DAO. And to me, when I see statements like this, and somebody that has the guts to literally share this, that earned my respect big time, because it tells me that this guy actually cares about what is going to happen moving forward for our country as a whole, for the United States. And you know what? I haven't talked about BSV in a long time, but I always notice with BSV community, a lot of guys in BSV, they love Metallicus, they love XPR, and it makes sense because even with BSV community, they always point out Bitcoin is freedom. And it's just like, yeah, when you see examples like this, it all makes sense. So I want us to talk about this for a brief bit. I have another update that was just in that had an interview on CNBC, an exclusive with Paul Atkins. We'll get into that in a bit. Of course, we'll close it out after that. But obviously, we're going to read some super chats. Let's see where it came from. I think, who's on that? I think that's Rue. Yeah, that's you, buddy.
Yeah. What's up, Kevin Garrett, member of the Rue Crew, a Patreon, and super chatting. Appreciate you, brother. Hey, y'all. Thanks for the documented research as usual. Do you guys think that the Steller ecosystem, Aphrium, Aquarius, and I'm not sure which this one is XXA, will do well with the utility? I'll go last. You guys can go first.
I mean, well, as a matter of perspective, I suppose, right? Like I said before, we're starting to see the winners start to rise to the top. So, I mean, I'm not familiar with any of those projects. the Stellar ecosystem. I mean, I think that the entire Stellar ecosystem as a whole, though, is going to definitely do well. And I often tell my Patreon community, actually, that when you're looking for great projects, sometimes the best place to look is inside the ecosystems of some of your favorite projects, right? So, yes, I do absolutely think as a whole, the majority of the Stellar ecosystem will likely do very, very well. You'll get your you know, your one or two laggards that don't do that well, but outside of that, yeah.
Yeah, my thoughts on it. So, some of these other ones, I think AFR was at Ethereum, but anyway, there's Aqua. I've gotten a lot of requests in the past to cover Aqua. XXA, I'm not familiar with it, I'll be honest, but basically speaking, yeah, these are things that I wouldn't mind maybe looking at a little bit more further, possibly on the Coin Vault. And if Rob and Rue may want to look more into it, and I know that that's something that a lot of influencers and channels they always say, "Oh, we'll look into it." We may and we may not, but at the same time, thank you for bringing that up to our attention, nonetheless. And yeah, you're very welcome in regard to the documented research.
So I
Yeah,
looked into.
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, we often get, tons and tons of requests. Like I know I do, and I have a binder beside, like a booklet beside me. I try to write down all the requests, and I try to get through all of them. Obviously, the Patreon community takes, priority. We actually do a weekly Patreon only altcoin request. We actually found 8 new small cap gems in our last Patreon altcoin requests that we're doing deep dives into. So I agree with you, Max. We get so many requests and stuff that it's hard to keep up with all of them, right? There's only so many hours in a day.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been crazy the last couple of days for myself. I mean, literally up at like 4:35, and then just research, collabing, and trying to get these videos out, and which is not a complaint, right? I'm very blessed to be able to do this. So anyway,
yeah. Go ahead, Rue. Sorry, man.
So I looked into Aprium and Aquarius. I also have not looked into XXA. I'm not sure what that is. I know Aprium, they've had like kind of big moves in Zimbabwe and things like that. And Smoke has had some posts on like Africa and Stellar, and how Africa and Stellar are kind of doing some big things. And for a while there, Bitcoin was trading at a premium in, I believe, like Nigeria or something like that. So I do think these projects have a lot of promise. But again, when you think about, okay, well, they have to get the payment rails in place first, and they have to get the regulation in place first. So if you think in the hierarchy of different projects, okay, Zebec, XRP, Stellar, Quant, you know what I mean? Like, okay, so where would you put Aprium and Aquarius in that, in that hierarchy? If you're saying, okay, well, I have limited funds, where am I going to put my money? You know what I mean? Type of deal. And, I would definitely have them down below a lot of different projects, including one that we talk about in the Patreon, Kevin, Kaya. I'm kind of high on Kaya and what they're doing with their stable coin, and the fact that they connect to Line and also Kakao Talk. And Line might even be big for, maybe that even has some connections with Jasmine and their personal data locker.
absolutely does, because wine. Yes, absolutely. You're right on that.
So in the whole grand scheme of things, I would probably put Kaya above that, above like Aprium and above Aquarius. And again, I have to look into XXA. But yeah, those are definitely something we can look into on my Patreon more, and also on CoinVault for sure.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Miller Mountain there. He says, Rob, you saved my entire portfolio and left me in the green with your Zebec sell call last cycle. Thank you. Hey, that's what we do, brother. That's what we do over in the Patreon community, man. We try to make sure everybody's making life-changing wealth for themselves, man. Thank you for the shout out, brother. Then we got Kevin shooting that cheddar out there.
That's on you, your channel, Rue. Go ahead.
Okay, don't worry about it. If you can get to them, I just like letting people know about other projects to look at. XXA is called. I'm gonna try. Yeah, Exinium. If you do look. Thank you, brother. I'll definitely look into that, and possibly we'll talk about it in our open mic night on Saturday.
There you go.
You know, there's another XX. It's not XXA, but there's an XX from a while back, right? It's both lower cases, and it's technically ISO 222. I haven't heard about that for the longest time, but anyway.
Well, X is going to give it to you. Right? So
Maybe we'll do an outro. Anyway, I do want to share this. And I know we're going to go into the distance here, but this is good that we should share this because it's literally new. So Marshall Hayner also reposted this. And actually, before we share that, I think another super chat just came in. You want to highlight that?
Chris, my dude, he says, so you're saying XDC won't hit $1 before XLM hits $5, or okay, XDC it is. Just kidding. XLM for the win.
Hopefully you're just kidding. I'm glad you said just kidding, because in reality, guys, I mean, this is my thing. We know that a lot of these assets won't hit all at the same time. Would XRP and XLM probably hit around the same time? Yeah. But XDC could very well do its thing before some of these other ones. And so that's my main thing, is just to be well positioned. I know this is Rob's super chat, but that's just my own two cents. I didn't want to cut you off, but
no, you nailed it.
Yeah, that's just how I feel about it. It's just like, you know, you never know what's going to hit. I look at a lot of these, they're kind of like lotto tickets, right? You're waiting for your number to be called. In this case, you're waiting for your ticker symbol to be called. In this case, XDC, right? So,
well, you can have strategies too. I mean, it's not financial advice, but I mean, who knows? Maybe you get into XDC. It's got great potential ROI. You get a 300-400% return. Flip that over into XLM. You ride that to the peak of the cycle, or H bar, whatever the case might be. Right? We got the fries that'll cross your eyes, baby.
Right. So, brand new update here, guys, and we want to get into this. So, again, Rue, look at this, bro. Marshall Hayner reposted this, and again, reposted from Metal Pay, which shared at the time this was just in. The SEC chair Paul Atkins says the agency is building a clear framework for crypto that includes regulatory certainty, open dialogue with builders, a sandbox for experimentation, the shift from enforcement to innovation that has begun. This is 1 minute. I want you guys to pay close attention to this. I'm going to go ahead and reshare it. This was shared a few hours ago, roughly around noon Phoenix time, right? Which we're on Pacific Standard Time because we're weird. Yes, we are weird. Anyway, let's go ahead and play this. Here we go.
What we have done is set out all sorts of examples in this particular interpretative release, and setting up a process and a framework by which people can have certainty. Their lawyers can give them an opinion. They can come in and talk to us about things if they are unclear. And unlike in the past, they won't then go home after they've talked to the SEC and find a subpoena on their doorstep or something like that. Right. So we're setting up a framework. This is just an interpretation, and so courts can deviate from that, of course, if they don't like our rationale. But what we're also going to follow up with here shortly is a proposed rule that will put a lot of this into effect and be much more specific, construct a series of exemptions and equivalent of a sandbox for people to do experimentation to see if they can develop a proof of concept and then go forward with what their product might be.
All right, so on the screen, we just saw them flash grayscale. And do you find it interesting? Literally, we just shared a video earlier from Ripple, and again, the grayscale ETF. Remember how you talking about predictive programming, Rue? So, you know.
Anyway. Talking about predictive programming.
He's frozen. Predictive freezing.
Predictive freezing.
I should talk. I was lagging earlier, right?
Yeah.
We'll wait for him to jump
back. Okay, I'm back.
He's just sitting really, really still.
Right?
My mime era.
see the ceiling fan behind him going.
That or the powers that be are like, yeah, we're going to show you predictive programming. We're going to pause you right now for saying pause all the time. No.
Yeah, they how dared me. They gave me the what's
the
her
Greta.
name?
I wish we had your
they gave me the
soundboard ready. You just hit that button, right?
But yeah, nothing but red, as Paul Atkins gave nothing but good news. So I think that's a little bit of predictive programming, because had you been watching, you might have been left with, well, everything's red, so why would I buy crypto? But what he just said was, hey, we're making inroads for crypto so nothing's confusing. Like, now no one has to worry about, okay, is this a security? Is it not? Can I even get these profits? Am I going to be sued later for getting crypto profits or getting involved in a crypto business? He said that. But while he was saying that, red was being displayed. So it's very hilarious. And I can't help but think that maybe that might be on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's it. Amen to that, brother.
Do you have any thoughts on that? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, well, guys, I think that just about wraps things up. If unless you guys got some closing thoughts.
I wanted to do something for real quick, where because you always talk about X402, because I mean we did talk about Zebec and Steller. There was another thing that flew under the radar that a lot of people didn't share. So this is for real quick, and then I understand we got to get going. So
you're my boy, Rue.
Yeah, you're my boy, Rue. Let's share that on screen. So you know how we both cover like Canton and X402, right? Well, about Steller and X402. So again, the big announcement about Zebec earlier today with Steller, and rightfully so. But then we see this. It's just constant examples that, yeah, we still need to pay attention to Steller. So X402 live on Steller, the machine economy now has a native payment layer. I just want to play this real quick and just get some of your thoughts, and then we'll wrap it up.
In the year 1997, the HTTP spec reserved status code 402 for a world where websites could charge for access directly. For nearly 30 years, the internet has been waiting for a native payment layer. And with X402, that long-reserved status code is finally coming to life. X402 enables websites and APIs to request payment directly through the HTTP protocol, using the 402 payment required status code. Combined with the speed and low fees of the Steller network, this enables a new emerging machine economy. Let's give Claude some funds to play with and see how this works. I'm opening up the Freighter wallet and using the Coinbase on-ramp widget to purchase a couple of dollars of USDC directly with Apple Pay. Now I've already set up a paid resource using the simple familiar tooling. To get access, it's going to cost you or your AI agent 1 cent. Next, I'll add an MCP server to Claude and provide my wallet credentials so that Claude can access the funds. When the AI agent makes the request, the server responds with 402 payment required, along with some instructions. The agent evaluates these and signs a transaction via the MCP server and resubmits the request. An X402 facilitator verifies the payment on-chain, and the API immediately returns the requested resource. The agent can now continue its task without API keys, subscriptions, or manual payments. It's simple technology and easy to implement, but it points to an important opportunity. A future where AI agents discover, purchase, and use resources using a standard built into the fabric of the web. Learn more about X402 on the Steller network at Steller.org.
Rue's getting a little excited. Rue's getting a little worked up over there.
So definitely want to get some of your thoughts on that.
Rue. When was that made? When was that put out?
March 10th. Not that long ago.
So
9 days ago.
Yeah,
I've said like before this, like 9 days ago. Definitely look it up, guys. In the video, secret partnership, Zebec and SEI, SEI. That I believe that Zebec might be a facilitator for X402. And note in that video you played, they said that Apple Pay, like they're getting the money directly through Apple Pay, which you can't do with Zebec, right? And they mentioned a facilitator for X402. I really do believe that that's Zebec. And if that's true, again, it just goes to drive home the fact that they may be the global like payroll provider, but also the global kind of instant payment facilitator.
That's why I shared that, because I knew you were going to mention the whole thing in Zebec, and the timing is awesome with this in light of everything that was shared recently about Steller. So there you have it.
Like, could it be possible that people are sleeping on Zebec because they're thinking just payroll, but then there's instant payments, treasuries, and etc.? You're on mute.
You're muted, Max. We didn't hear that.
It says on my end I'm unmuted, so maybe I'm getting some lag. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we didn't hear what you said though. Can you say it again?
No.
Well,
I
it's
will
because
never repeat it.
my thing is unmuted, and you guys are saying that you can't hear me. So I'm thinking there's something wrong on my end.
That's weird. That's weird, man. Well, man, wow, we hit 1,700 current viewers altogether. Crazy. Thank you guys, everybody, for being here with us tonight. It's greatly appreciated. If you're new here, no matter which outlet you're watching on, guys, we do this every Thursday, so make sure you guys are here, whether it's on Rule Black Podcast, Maximus Crypto, Crypto Future, or the Coin Vault, or one of our X accounts. We're here every single Thursday, guys. Final thoughts, guys?
No, it just, to me, there's a lot. I hope, am I still lagging? By the
Nope.
way?
No.
Okay. To me, it just clearly, no pun intended, we have a lot of examples of clarity. I had some other ones to share, but I mean, reality, we don't want to make this like 2 or 3 hours long. I would just encourage you guys, check out some of the recent posts from Coin Bureau. They point out the whole thing of a Monday, even with Ethereum and Steller. Again, like literally, there's more mentions about Steller. That's a big deal. And there was some breaking news. Shout out to this lady named Diana. Hong Kong names XRP as a core infrastructure. 77% of financial institutions are moving into crypto. And there's a whole piece on this. I've gone ahead and retweeted it. And literally, she provides you a real document. I may just do a little coverage on that on Maximus Crypto. But yeah, I mean, come on, guys, across the board. I mean, so many countless examples of clarity.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe no matter where you are watching. Help our channels grow. We just broke 16,000 over on Crypto Future tonight, so thank you, everybody, for that support. Rue, what are you at now, Rue? You getting close to 10,000 now, right?
I'm getting closer. We're at 9,238 or 40, something close.
Let's get our boy up to 10,000, guys. Let's get him up there.
Absolutely, that's a big milestone, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, and Coin Vault, guys, we're really trying to create something very special over there. It's exclusive content you will not find on any of our individual channels, so make sure you're subbed over there, or you will be missing out on a lot of great content. So right now we're averaging a video a day over there, right? So
yeah, we are, and it's really high quality content, and people have been recognizing that. So we can't thank you guys enough. All 3 communities coming together, and then if anything, we're even building a community on its own. Freaking bug. Sorry about that. On its own. Bug is bugging me to stop the stream, right? Anyway, but yeah, on its own, which is really cool. So,
absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you again for coming out and supporting us. Absolutely amazing. 1,700 of you guys here right now. Thank you so much. Everyone who sent super chats, thank you for supporting us, even in the bear market. Being here, having our backs, it does not go unnoticed, and it is definitely appreciated. So that is it for us, guys. We will see you next Thursday. Same bat time, same bat channel. God bless.
God bless everybody.
Peace.